I never thought a routine shopping trip could destroy everything I believed about my life. There I was in the fitting room of a high-end department store in downtown Chicago helping my best friend Ryan try on his wedding tuxedo when he dropped the bomb that changed everything. "Ethan, I can't marry Sarah because I'm in love with you and I have been for years." The words hung heavy in the small mirrored space. Soft overhead lights cast even illumination on the dark wood panels and thick carpet. Ryan stood there in the half-buttoned white shirt, his hands trembling as he clutched the black tuxedo jacket. I stared at him, my mouth dry and my pulse hammering in my ears. We had known each other since freshman orientation at the University of Illinois over 10 years ago. Ryan was the steady one, the guy who remembered my coffee order during finals week and showed up with pizza after every bad breakup I had. I thought I knew him completely. "Ryan, come on, this is not funny," I said, forcing a laugh that sounded hollow even to me. "You have cold feet. Every groom gets them. Sarah is amazing. You two are perfect together. The wedding is in 6 weeks. We are here picking out your tux, for crying out loud." He shook his head slowly and stepped closer. His eyes were red-rimmed and filled with tears he refused to let fall. "This is not cold feet, Ethan. I have been carrying this secret since college. Every time you dated someone new, it tore me apart inside. I dated women and tried to convince myself it was enough, but it never was. I cannot stand in front of our families and promise to love Sarah forever when my heart has always been yours. I am gay and I am in love with you." The air felt thick and hard to breathe. I backed up until my shoulders hit the cool mirror. Memories flashed through my mind uninvited. The summer we drove Route 66 and shared one motel room because we were broke, laughing until dawn. The way he hugged me a little longer than other guys after my father passed away. The protective look he gave any guy who got too close at bars. I had always brushed those moments off as brotherly loyalty. Now they took on a different weight and it terrified me. "Why now?" I whispered, my voice cracking. "Why here in a fitting room of all places? What about Sarah? What about your parents? They are so proud of the life you built. This will break them." Ryan sat down heavily on the small bench inside the stall. His shoulders slumped. "I know, and the guilt is eating me alive. My parents are traditional. Church every Sunday. They talk about grandkids and carrying on the family name. Sarah deserves someone who can love her the way she loves me, and that person is not me. I cannot keep pretending. I had to tell you because you are the reason I finally found the courage to stop lying. If I marry her, I will be miserable, and so will she eventually." A soft knock came from outside the curtain. The store associate asked if we needed another size. I mumbled that we were fine and told Ryan to change quickly. We left the tux behind unpaid and walked out into the busy Michigan Avenue sidewalk. The November wind off Lake Michigan bit at our faces, but neither of us spoke for several blocks. When we reached my car, Ryan finally broke the silence. "I called Sarah this morning and told her the wedding is off. She is devastated. I did not tell her about you. I could not do that to you yet." I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white during the drive to my apartment in Lincoln Park. Ryan sat in the passenger seat staring out the window. When we arrived, he asked if he could come inside to talk more, but I shook my head. "I need time, Ryan. This is a lot. Give me space." Alone in my living room that night, I paced back and forth. The city lights twinkled through the windows, but they brought no comfort. I poured a glass of whiskey and sat on the couch replaying every interaction we had ever had. Was our friendship built on a lie? Had I been blind, or had Ryan hidden it so well that no one suspected? The confusion mixed with anger and a strange undercurrent of fear. What would people think if they knew? What would my own family say? My parents still lived in the suburbs and held traditional values. They adored Ryan like a second son. This revelation would shake everything. Sleep would not come. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling until the first gray light of dawn crept in. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. It was Ryan. "I called off the wedding officially," he said, his voice raw from crying. "Sarah wants answers. I do not know how long I can keep your name out of it. I am sorry, Ethan. I never wanted to hurt you. My stomach twisted into knots. The shock from the fitting room was only the beginning. The real storm was just starting to gather, and I had no idea how much it would cost all of us. The next morning brought no relief. My phone would not stop ringing. First Sarah called, her voice thick with tears and confusion. "Ethan, what is going on? Ryan says he cannot marry me, but he will not give me a real reason. Did something happen between you two? You are his best friend. You must know something." I stood in my kitchen, gripping the phone so tightly my hand ached. I wanted to tell her the truth, but the words stuck in my throat. Ryan had asked me to let him handle it, and I owed him that much at least. "Sarah, I am as shocked as you are," I said carefully. "He dropped a lot on me yesterday. Give him time to explain. He cares about you. This is not easy for him either." She cried harder and hung up after a few more painful questions. I felt like the worst person alive, even though I had done nothing wrong. Or had I? The doubt crept in. Had I missed signs over the years? Had my closeness with Ryan somehow encouraged this? Ryan showed up at my door an hour later, looking like he had not slept either. His eyes were puffy and his usual confident posture was gone. We sat at my small dining table with coffee neither of us really drank. "I told my parents last night," he said quietly. "They are furious. My dad thinks I am going through a phase. My mom just cried and asked what she did wrong. They want me to see a counselor to fix it." The weight of his words pressed down on me. Ryan came from a tight-knit Polish-American family in the northwest suburbs. Church picnics, family dinners every Sunday. Being gay was not something they discussed except in hushed, judgmental tones at holidays. "What did you tell them about me?" I asked, afraid of the answer. "Nothing yet. But they know you are my closest friend. They might put it together." "I am sorry, Ethan. This is going to touch your life too." We spent the afternoon talking through the details. Ryan described the years of internal struggle, the fear of losing our friendship, the pressure to fit the mold his family expected. I listened and tried to be supportive, but inside I was reeling. Part of me felt betrayed. All those nights we talked about girls and future plans, had he been lying the whole time? Another part felt deep sadness for the pain he had carried alone. By evening my own mother called. "Ethan, honey, Ryan's mother reached out to me. She is worried sick. She said Ryan called off the wedding and mentioned you were with him when he made the decision. Is everything okay? Did something happen?" I dodged the question as best I could, but the suspicion in her voice was clear. My parents were good people but traditional. They went to the same Lutheran church every week and believed marriage was between a man and a woman. The idea that their son's best friend might be gay and possibly involved with him would not sit well. That night Ryan stayed on my couch. We watched an old baseball game in silence mostly. Every so often he would glance at me with a mix of hope and fear. I felt the first stirrings of something unfamiliar. Not attraction exactly, but a shift in how I saw him. The way the light caught his face, the quiet strength he showed even now. I pushed the thoughts away. This was not the time. The following days blurred together. Sarah came to my apartment one afternoon demanding answers. She was angry and hurt, and I could not blame her. "If there is someone else, just tell me," she said. "I deserve to know." I stayed silent and she left in tears. Ryan's family started calling me too, asking if I knew anything. The pressure built like a storm cloud ready to break. I began questioning my own life in quiet moments. Why had none of my relationships with women ever felt completely right? Why did I always feel most comfortable with Ryan? The questions scared me because they threatened the stable identity I had built. Work at the marketing firm suffered. I stared at my computer screen, unable to focus while colleagues asked what was wrong. Ryan and I met for lunch near my office a few days later. "I do not expect anything from you," he said softly across the table. "I just could not keep living the lie. Whatever happens next, I will face it. But I needed you to know the truth." His honesty touched something deep inside me. For the first time, I allowed myself to wonder if there might be more to our bond than friendship. The thought both excited and terrified me. Family expectations, social judgment, and my own fears all pressed in. The fitting room confession had opened a door, and now there was no closing it. Word spread faster than I expected. A mutual friend from college heard about the canceled wedding and started asking questions. Soon our social circle knew something major had happened. Some friends were supportive. My coworker Lisa pulled me aside at the office and said she was there if I needed to talk. Others pulled away. One guy from our fantasy football league stopped returning my texts after he learned Ryan was gay. The prejudice was subtle but real. Awkward silences, changed invitations, and careful wording. Ryan faced the worst of it. His family held an intervention of sorts at their house. His father demanded he reconsider the wedding and see a pastor. His mother worried about what the relatives would say at Christmas. Ryan stood his ground, but it cost him. They stopped inviting him to Sunday dinners, and his younger brother said some hurtful things about betrayal of family values. I drove out to the suburbs one evening to check on him at his apartment. He looked thinner and exhausted. "They think I chose this to hurt them," he told me over Chinese takeout. "They cannot accept that this is who I am. And they keep asking about you. I think they suspect." The conversation turned to our shared past. Ryan recounted moments I had forgotten, like the time in college when I got food poisoning and he stayed up all night taking care of me. "I was so scared of losing you," he admitted. "That is why I never said anything sooner. But the wedding made me realize I was losing myself instead." His vulnerability cracked something open in me. I started noticing small things. The comfort I felt in his presence. The way my mood lifted when he texted. I still dated casually a woman from work, but the dates felt empty now. I compared every conversation to the depth I shared with Ryan, and the comparison left me unsettled. My own family invited me for dinner the following weekend. The atmosphere was tense. My father asked pointed questions about Ryan. "Son, we have always liked him, but this situation is strange. Are you sure there is nothing going on? People talk." My mother added that she prayed for Ryan to find his way back to the right path. I defended him, but the words felt heavy. Defending him meant opening myself to their scrutiny too. At work, the rumors reached my boss. He called me in for a meeting and asked if everything was okay at home. The implication was clear. In our conservative-leaning firm, being associated with drama like this could affect promotions. I assured him it was personal, but the seed of doubt was planted in my mind. How much was I willing to risk for friendship or whatever this was becoming? Ryan and I started spending more time together. Long walks along the lakefront. Quiet evenings at my place talking about everything and nothing. The tension between us grew, but neither of us named it. One night, after a few beers, he reached across the couch and took my hand. "I do not want to pressure you," he said, "but I am here when you are ready to figure this out." I did not pull away. The warmth of his hand felt right in a way that scared me. The internal conflict raged. Part of me wanted to explore these new feelings. Another part feared losing my family, my career, and the life I knew. Social prejudice was not abstract. It showed up in the stares when we went out together now that people knew. It showed up in the careful distance some friends kept. The pressure built toward a breaking point. Ryan's ex-fiancée Sarah posted something vague on social media about betrayal and lost trust. Comments poured in speculating about me. The story was no longer private. It was becoming public, and the cost was rising every day. The confrontation with Ryan's family came on a cold Saturday afternoon. They invited both of us to their house under the pretense of a family meeting. When we arrived, the tension was immediate. His father spoke first. "We raised you better than this, Ryan. This is a phase. And if Ethan has anything to do with it, then maybe you two should not be friends anymore." I sat there stunned as they turned their anger toward me. His mother cried and asked if I had known all along and encouraged it. The accusations stung because they echoed my own doubts. Had I unknowingly led him on? The conversation escalated until Ryan stood up and said he would not choose between his truth and his family. We left with the door slamming behind us. In the car, Ryan was quiet for a long time. "I am sorry you had to hear that," he finally said. "They are hurting, but so am I. I never wanted to put you in the middle." Back at my apartment we talked for hours. He opened up about the moral dilemma he had faced for years. The guilt of hiding his identity versus the fear of hurting everyone he loved. I shared my own growing confusion. "I do not know what I am feeling," I admitted. "But being around you feels different now. Deeper. I am scared of what that means for my life." We did not kiss or cross any physical lines. The connection was emotional, and that made it even more powerful. I started reading articles about sexuality and identity, trying to make sense of the questions swirling inside me. The societal pressure was constant. News stories about discrimination in the Midwest reminded me that Chicago was progressive in some areas but not everywhere. My workplace felt less safe. A colleague made a casual joke about the gay agenda, and the room went silent when he realized I was listening. Family pressure on my side intensified too. My sister called and said our parents were worried I might be confused. They suggested I take a step back from Ryan. The idea of choosing between my blood family and this new understanding of myself tore at me. I lay awake many nights weighing the options. Loyalty to my roots versus honesty with myself. Ryan and I took a weekend trip to a cabin in Wisconsin to escape the noise. In the quiet woods we talked about the price we were both paying. He had lost his family's approval and the future he thought he wanted. I was risking my career stability and family ties. Yet, in those conversations something shifted. I realized the feelings I had for him were real. Not just friendship but love. The admission brought both relief and fear. Back in the city, the drama continued. A former classmate posted old photos of us on social media with speculative captions. The online comments were cruel, mixing prejudice with curiosity. Ryan wanted to respond, but I convinced him silence was better. The moral dilemma weighed on me. Was it right to hide our growing closeness, or should we be open and face the consequences? One evening at my apartment, Ryan asked the hard question. "Do you see a future for us, or am I asking too much?" I could not give him a full answer yet, but I took his hand and said I was trying. The internal conflict raged, but the connection between us grew stronger each day. The breaking point came during Thanksgiving. My family invited Ryan out of habit, but the dinner was awkward from the start. Halfway through the meal, my father brought up the canceled wedding. "Ryan, we are disappointed in you, son. A man honors his commitments." The room went silent. Ryan defended himself calmly, but the words turned sharp. My mother suggested he leave early. I stood up for him, and the argument exploded. Later that night at home, Ryan and I had our first real fight. "You should not have to choose me over your family," he said. "Maybe I was selfish to tell you in the fitting room. Maybe I should have kept quiet and married Sarah." His words cut deep because part of me had wondered the same. The sense of betrayal surfaced. He had hidden his feelings for years, making our friendship feel one-sided in retrospect. I accused him of upending my life without warning. He countered that living a lie was destroying him. The argument ended with both of us exhausted and emotional. We did not speak for 2 days. The silence hurt more than the words. During that break, I reflected deeply on the choices. Family loyalty versus personal truth. The cost of authenticity in a world that still judged harshly. I realized I could not go back to the way things were. The feelings for Ryan were real, and denying them would be its own kind of lie. When we reconciled, we talked honestly about the pain. Ryan admitted he had almost confessed years earlier, but fear stopped him. That revelation stung, but also helped me understand his struggle. We decided to move forward together slowly. No labels yet, just honesty. The external pressure did not ease. My boss hinted that a promotion might be delayed due to personal distractions. Ryan's family cut off financial help he had been receiving for his apartment. We both sacrificed stability for this new chapter. Friends chose sides. Some stayed supportive, others disappeared. Through it all, the emotional growth was profound. I learned to confront my own prejudices and fears. Ryan found strength in vulnerability. The relationship that began with a shocking confession in a fitting room was becoming something real and worth fighting for despite the cost. Winter turned to spring and we faced the consequences head-on. My parents eventually agreed to meet Ryan for a calm conversation. It was not perfect, but they listened. His family remained distant, but a few relatives reached out privately with support. The social circle narrowed, but the people who stayed were genuine. Ryan and I began building a life together. Quiet dates, long talks, and shared dreams. I came to terms with my own identity. The labels mattered less than the connection we shared. The journey had forced me to examine my values, my fears, and what really mattered. Looking back at that moment in the fitting room, I see it as the catalyst for both pain and awakening. We lost some family approval and certain friendships. Careers faced setbacks. But we gained honesty and a love that felt authentic. The price was high, but in the quiet moments when it is just the two of us, I know we are better for it. The drama, the betrayals, the difficult choices all led to a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other. Was my best friend's confession in that fitting room the bravest act of honesty that ultimately set us both free, or the most painful betrayal that forced us to lose so much along the way? What would you have done in my place?